Hey guys, this is Cory Chapman here from Money Talk LA with my 5-minute wealth tip. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about estate planning. When you get prepared for retirement, one of the stages that you're going to go through is talking about legacy planning. What does that mean? It means leaving something for the next generation, leaving a legacy. Now, how do we go about doing that? Well, first and foremost, you may be trying to figure out what are you going to earmark for your kids, your grandchildren, and so forth. Now, I know some of you say, hey, you know what, I'm going to take all this money to the bank myself. I'm going to spend every dime, and they're good on their own because they're going to have the house left over to them, maybe some insurance, so they don't need anything else. Well, that's great, guys, but here's the thing. We still want to look at it from a couple of different perspectives. Let's say, for example, if you decided, or not decided, but let's say you passed away before you got to use all the money in your retirement account. Well, the first thing you got to understand is that because you didn't use all those proceeds, and let's say that money is now passing to your children, well, this new provision now says that once they receive that inherited IRA, they now are going to be forced to take that income in a 10-year period. So let's imagine for a second. Maybe you got a son or daughter and they're in their 30s or 40 years of age. They're at their highest point in time of earning income. Guess what happens? Well, they're already in a high tax bracket because of the earned income they have right now. But now on top of that, mom and dad try to give them a gift because when they passed away, they left some of this money in their IRA account, and they now pass it over to the kids, and there's $1 million in that IRA account. Well, now that child has got to take that out $100,000 a year for the next 10 years. So even though they may be already earning 100, now I'm adding your 100 onto it. Now they're in a $200,000 a year income. Let's throw in the spouse's income that may come in that. They could be somewhere between the 24, 26, 28% tax bracket at that point in time and climbing. This could be detrimental for them as far as how much they're paying in taxes, because at the end of the day, they have to do this in a 10-year time period, right? So that's a strategy that you got to understand. So I know sometimes we think about this, but I'm sure we don't want to leave a big tax burden to our children. This is a great way for us to help avoid that. So start asking questions to your advisor about legacy planning and how important it is on making sure that we either use up all the money while we're in retirement, or if we are leaving money to our children, that we do it the most tax efficient way possible so they're not putting a burden on them. Now listen, I hear it all the time. Cory, I'm giving them free money no matter what taxes they're paying, so what? Well, guess what, guys? At the end of the day, we want to do what's most efficient because we can avoid that. And instead of giving it to Uncle Sam, why not give it to the family? There are ways and strategies that we can take advantage of to make sure at the end of the day our kids are getting the most of those proceeds in the most tax-efficient way. Now, the second thing I want to talk a little bit about is when it comes to your estate planning and you do your living trust, the one thing that people have to remember to do is fund your trust. What do I mean by funding your trust? Listen, you've gone through all the hard work of creating the living trust. You got all your documents together, your power of attorney, your directive, your healthcare directives, things of that nature, and you're ready to rock and roll. But you never went to the bank and opened up a trust account, right? This is so vitally important because in order for all of those assets to go into the trust, there's got to be a trust account for when we need to sell those assets that the money can go into the trust account. This is so vitally important to fund the trust. And I can't begin to tell you in 26 years how many people we've talked to that forgot to fund the trust. They forgot to go out and set up a checking account in the name of the trust so that whoever it is that's going to be the trustee of that estate can liquidate those assets and move the proceeds to the trust. So that way, once they go ahead and move all those proceeds to the trust, they now can start paying off any debt that's out there, any medical bills, any taxes that are still due. They could do their final tax return and pay that off through the IRS. They then can say, now that the proceeds are available, we've done all the bills that we paid, we now can start dispersing it to the beneficiaries in the way that they want it to be dispersed. So guys, it's so important to make sure you fund your estate plan, your living trust. If you haven't done so, please get to the bank, set up your trust account. If you need help in that area, feel free to reach out to us in our office and we can kind of help you through the process. Okay, guys, hopefully that was a little bit of knowledge that helped you out there. Again, if there's ever any questions or concerns, feel free to contact the office and we will help you through that process. Again, this is Cory 𝗀𝗵 with my 5-minute wealth tip. I hope you enjoyed what you learned today. See you on the other side. Bye-bye. Be well and blessed.